1 year ago, the Hutchinson Community College Baseball team found itself in the very same position it does today. 1 year ago, right here at Hobart-Detter Field, Hutchinson lost its first game of the opening round of the Region 6 Tournament Best of 3 Series to Coffeyville, and the Blue Dragons rallied back with victories in games 2 and 3 to head to Wichita. Today, the Blue Dragons are going to have to do that same feat against the Labette Cardinals. They get to Wichita this time, the top-seeded Blue Dragons, with their backs against the wall, trailing in this best-of-3 series 1-0. It's time for Hutchinson Community College Baseball on the Blue Dragons Sports Network from Hobart-Detter Field. It is game number 2 of the Region 6 best-of-3 opening series between the 38-19 Hutchinson Blue Dragons and the 17-28 and 16 seed Labette Cardinals. I'm Steve Carpenter. Thank you for joining us today in what we hope is a very long and prosperous day for baseball. What I mentioned 1 year ago, the Dragons had to come back from a game down. They did that over 2 days. Today, because of the series getting pushed back a day with the flooding and the rains, the Blue Dragons are going to have to win two 9-inning games, a doubleheader right here at Hobart-Detter Field in order to advance to Wichita. Yesterday, it was just a frustrating afternoon for Hutchinson. Labette won 4-3. They had a 2-run double from first baseman Rustin Postier in the 8th inning, coming with 2 outs. In fact, all 4 of Labette's runs came with 2 outs. Blue Dragons got solo home runs from Logan Sartori and Riley Metzger. And the Blue Dragon pitching staff tied a single game record for strikeouts, striking out 19, 11 coming from L.J. McDonough. But 3 of the 4 runs scored by Labette were unearned, and again with 2 outs, and the Blue Dragons fall 4-3 in the opener. So now Ryan Schmidt kind of looks at what he needs to do today, and he will run Dylan Nedved out to the mound in game number 2. If there is a game number 3, Miguel Reyes Jr. will get the start in that one. The Labette Cardinals will counter with left-handed freshman Evan Jacoby. He's 2-3 with a 5.47 earned run average in game number 1. No word on a game 3 starter yet for Aaron Keel's Cardinals. We're going to take a quick break, and we will return with this afternoon's starting lineups. It's the Blue Dragons and the Cardinals. Game number 2 of the Region 6 Best of 3 Series, live from Hobart-Detter Field. This is Blue Dragon Baseball. Welcome back to Hobart-Detter Field, everybody. Steve Carpenter with you, getting set for game number 2 of this Region 6 Best of 3 opening round series between the Hutchinson Blue Dragons and the Labette Cardinals. Again, Hutchinson dropped the first game yesterday by the score of 4-3, and they're going to have to win 2 today, 2 9-inning games in order to advance to Wichita. Let's get to the starting lineups for game number 2. First for the visiting team on the scoreboard, the Labette Cardinals, with a record of 17-28 for 20th year head coach Aaron Keel. The shortstop, Landon Lord, leads it off for the Cardinals. He'll be followed by Sam Walker, who will be the DH, batting second, batting third, and the catcher, the team's leading hitter, and Drew White. He's third in the league in batting average at .420. Batting fourth will be the third baseman, Justin Perez. Josh Craley bats fifth and plays left field. He drops 3 spots in the order from yesterday. Tate Saldana is the right fielder. He bats sixth. He had an RBI single in yesterday's game. The offensive hero for game number 1 for Labette, Rustin Postier, bats seventh. He is at first base. Batting eighth will be the second baseman, Abner DeJesus. And batting ninth and playing center field is Dante Federico. The starting pitcher for the Labette Cardinals is Evan Jacoby. He is a freshman right-hander, and he's from Coweta, Oklahoma. Jacoby comes in with a record of 2-3 and a 5.47 earned run average, making his 9th start of the year. So the Cardinals will line up Lord, Walker, White, Perez, Praley, Saldana, Postier, DeJesus, Federico, and right-hander Evan Jacoby on the hill. For the Blue Dragons, one major change in the lineup, and we'll get to that as we go. Leading off will be the shortstop, sophomore Logan Sartori. Batting second, the pitcher and designated hitter, Dylan Nedved. Zane Schmidt bats third and plays right field. Batting fourth is the left fielder, Riley Metzger. He had a home run yesterday, as did Sartori. Batting fifth will be first baseman Zack Baxley. With Nedved on the mound, Zion Bolin will play third base. He'll bat sixth. Batting seventh is the second baseman, Ryan Moritz. Catcher Max McGuire bats eighth for the Blue Dragons. And the change in the lineup, Jeremiah Cesar gets the start in center field despite facing a left-hander. Cesar bats ninth and plays center. So the Dragons line up Sartori, Nedved, Schmidt, Metzger, Baxley, Bolin, Moritz, McGuire, Cesar. And again, Dylan Nedved brings a record of 3-2 and a 3.44 earned run average, coming off one of his best outings 1 week ago today in a 3-1 win over Cloud County. He threw a complete game, struck out 10, and scattered 5 hits and allowed 1 unearned run. So the Blue Dragons kind of slumping over their last 5 games, hitting just .240, or their last 3 just .200 with only 8 runs scored. Yesterday, the Blue Dragons had opportunities. They stranded 9 runners on base, but were 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. In the postseason, that just isn't going to get it done. So the Dragons getting set to take on number 2. Remember, last year, the Blue Dragons are in the exact same spot. They lost to Coffeyville 6-1 in the opening game of the series last year. Dominated game number 2 7-2 and had to rally late in game number 3 to dispatch of the Red Ravens, winning that one 4-3 and advancing to Wichita to finish third in the region once they got to Wichita. The Blue Dragons were seemingly on a roll after that 4-game sweep of Colby, but then against Cloud County, the bats just kind of went silent. That's baseball. And again, a .240 average over the last 5 games. And the other thing to note, over the last 20 games, Hutchinson pitching has now allowed 41 runs in 2-out situations. So the Dragons need to improve upon that. Dylan Nedved, probably the hottest pitcher on the staff right now. And Brian Schmidt will put it in his hands to try to force a third and decisive game. So the Dragons and the Cardinals getting set for game number 2. Incidentally, that win yesterday for the Cardinals was their first postseason win in the tournament's format since 2004. They went to this 8 series best of 3 series format in 2004, where the 8 winners go to Wichita. There was a break in there for 3 years, but Labette was 0-6 in best of 3 series until yesterday. And now they also got their first postseason win against Hutchinson The Blue Dragons are now 5-1 all-time in postseason play against the Labette Cardinals. The Blue Dragons being introduced, and we'll have the national anthem in this afternoon's first pitch. Hopefully a long day of baseball here if you're a Blue Dragon fan. If you're a Labette Cardinal fan, clicking on and logging in, we, one, welcome you, and no, two, you would like to end this in 2 games and get to Wichita. So we've got the Blue Dragons and the Cardinals getting set to go at it. It's time for the national anthem. When we return, it'll be the first pitch of game number 2. This is Blue Dragon Baseball. Welcome back to Hobart-Detter Field. Dylan Nedved taking the warm-ups for game number 2. Nedved coming in a 3-2 record, a 3.44 earned run average, coming off his best performance as a Blue Dragon with a 5-hitter, 1 unearned run, 10 strikeouts against Cloud County 1 week ago today up in McPherson. Dylan on for his 9th start, 16th overall appearance. He has 2 saves, 1 complete game. Record of 40 innings pitched, total of 49 2/3. 53 hits allowed, 33 runs. He has struck out 67, walked only 7, and opponents hitting 269 against. Labette, number 16 in the Jayhawk, and team batting average at 272. Not a big-time offensive machine, but they had enough yesterday to beat the Blue Dragons. Your umpires today at third base will be Jay Sanderson, at first base Todd Segwig, and behind the plate Sam Schartz. And we're set to go. It will be Landon Lord against Dylan Nedved. Game number 2 of the best of 3 Region 6 series is about to get underway. Thanks for joining us on the Blue Dragon Sports Network. Rounded up the middle, ranging to his right is Moritz. He fields, throws, and gets him. First pitch coming at 12:59, and Ryan Moritz makes a nice play to his right to throw out Lord for the first out of the game. So now Sam Walker, who did not play yesterday in either game, he is the designated hitter. Walker hitting .214 with 25 hits, a home run, and 13 driven in, hitting from the left side. Nedved pounds the strike zone for strike 1 with the fastball. Dylan was on fire last week against Cloud County in the clinching game for the conference that got them a tie. I pitch a little bit outside, and it's 1-1. Nedved allowed 5 hits, 1 unearned run, struck out 10 and walked 1 in 103 pitches over 7 innings. Big swing by Walker, and it's barely fouled off. And Nedved up in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Really no other upsets around the region yesterday other than the fact that the 10th seed Barton completed a sweep at KCK. Walker fouls it off to the left. Toward the now still very full Arkansas River, but it's starting. River levels are starting to drop a little bit from yesterday. 1-2 pitch. Changeup misses, low and in for a ball, 2-2. Barton and Johnson County completed their respective series in sweeps. Barton swept KCK 6-2 and 7-3 in 10 innings. The pitch. Fouled back, and it remains 2-2. Johnson County took care of Garden City 13-6 on Thursday, 4-2 yesterday. So those two teams advanced to X Stadium in Wichita, and that portion of the tournament starts Wednesday. Nedved's 2-2. Sails outside, full count. Labette batters struck out 19 times yesterday against 5 Blue Dragon pitchers. That tied a record. There's a swing and a pop-up. Playable on foul territory, third base side. Zion Bolin makes the catch, 2 away. So Nedved wouldn't give in despite the full count. 2 up, 2 down for the third best hitter in the Jayhawk Conference this year, catcher Drew White. White, a .420 average on the season, 8 home runs, 39 RBIs. Yesterday, White was 0 for 3, but he scored 3 runs. He walked and reached on errors twice. Strike at the letters, outside corner. 0-1. He pulled 2 hard-hit balls down the line. One was a throwing error by Dylan Nedved. The other just chewed Dylan up. That was a swing and a foul tip at the plate. 0-2. He scored his first run, did White, on a wild pitch. That gave Labette a 1-0 lead in the third inning. The 0-2. Called strike 3. Right on the outside corner at the knees. It's a very efficient 10-pitch inning for Dylan Nedved, 3 up and 3 down. After half inning, Labette 0 in the Blue Dragons coming up. Lefty Evan Jacoby taking his warm-up tosses for the first time. A 5'10", 175-pound freshman left-hander from Coweta, Oklahoma. Making his 9th start of the season, Jacoby is 2-3 with a 5.47 earned run average. Jacoby has worked 36 2/3 innings. He's allowed 40 hits, 41 runs. Only 22 of those have been earned. He has struck out 42, walked 22, and has allowed 6 home runs. Jacoby did pitch against the Blue Dragons on February 26th in Pittsburgh. He took the loss going 3 2/3 innings. The Dragons got 5 hits and 7 runs off of him. Jacoby struck out 4 but walked 5. And he gets a Blue Dragon offense that is slumbering. Logan Sartori to lead it off. Sartori really the only Dragon bat that's going good. Sartori now hitting .320, 11 home runs, 57 driven in. There's a strike on the outside corner. Over his last 5 games, Sartori is 8 for 21. He has a double and a home run and 5 RBIs. Again, he's really the only Dragon batter going really good. Did it hit him? No, it didn't. Logan tried to buy the call. Sam Chart said, no, sir, stay put. And the count's 1-1. Sartori yesterday was 2 for 5 with a home run. There's a strike at the knees, and it's 1-2. The one thing that Labette pitcher Jordan Graham did yesterday was simply pound the strike zone. He struck out 8, walked 6, but allowed only 5 hits and 2 earned runs. Sartori takes a shot toward the corner, but it's going to hook foul and into the Labette bullpen. And it remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. What wind there is blowing out to center. Temperature in the upper 50s. Called strike 3, fastball in the inside corner. Sartori gets rung up for out number 1. We mentioned that the Dragon pitching staff struck out 19 yesterday. Labette's pitching staff struck out 10. He used 3 pitchers to punch out 10 Blue Dragon batters. Now Dylan Nedved. He was 1 for 4 with a double and a walk yesterday. Nedved hitting .327 with 9 homers and 60 RBIs. Strike on the outside corner. Working out of the stretch, the pitch. Off speed, foul back. Very quickly, 0-2. Talking with Ryan Schmidt last evening after the game. He was very disappointed in the overall at bats the Dragons had yesterday. Jordan Graham wasn't overpowering by any means. The 0-2 fouled off to the right. But it was the big slow curveball that the Dragons could never time up, and it just kept the entire offense off balance for the entire game. The Dragons only had 5 hits yesterday. They out-hit Labette 5-3. The 0-2, check swing foul. All 4 of Labette's runs yesterday were scored with 2 out. 3 of those were unearned. The Dragons were 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position yesterday. They stranded 9 on base. The 0-2, foul off to the right again. And if you're a Blue Dragon fan, Jordan Graham entered that game with a 9+ ERA. And really, for all intents and purposes, besides the 2 home runs, dominated the Dragons lineup. Changeup misses high and outside from Jacoby, and it's a ball and 2 strikes to Nedved. The pitch. Struck him out. Took something off of it. That's 2 consecutive strikeouts. Dragons now have a school record, a dubious school record, 473 strikeouts. One of the Blue Dragons in a tailspin right now is stepping to the plate. Zane Schmidt, 0 for his last 10. 0 for 4 yesterday. He was walked once. Still hitting .386. Pitch taken low and outside, ball 1. A Jayhawk conference high 20 home runs and a league high 64 RBIs. But he's 0 for his last 10. The pitch. Took a huge cut and barely got a piece of it. And those are just the kind of swings that the Dragons are taking right now. Wild swings of pitches up in the zone that normally aren't that easy to handle. Pitch selection has caused the Dragons to put themselves in all kinds of holes individually. Breaking pitch, strike on the inside corner. That looked well inside, but it's called a strike, and it's 1-2. Schmidt this year has hit better off lefties than righties. Ground ball right to short. Lord, couple steps to his right, has it, fields and throws. And first baseman Rustin Postier holds the bag, and the Dragons go in order in the bottom of the first. After one here in game number 2, no score. Two series have been completed already in the Region 6 opening round. Barton swept Kansas City at Kansas City Thursday and yesterday. They advanced, and then Garden City was swept at Johnson County 2-0. So two teams have advanced to Wichita. And it's a swing and a miss to the third baseman, Justin Perez, to start inning number 2. Perez overall hitting .231 for the year, 5 home runs, 17 RBIs. Yesterday, Perez was 1 for 2. Hard hit ball to third, backhand to stop by Bolin. Makes sure he fields and then throws to Baxley at first for out number 1. 4 in a row retired by Dylan Nedved. That'll bring up the left fielder Josh Craley. Craley hit in the 2 slot yesterday, moved down into the 5 hole today after going 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts yesterday. Ball 1. Josh Craley hitting .286 with a couple of home runs, 13 RBIs, 26 total hits. Nedved's fastball sails outside, 2-0. Labette didn't have many chances yesterday, but the chances they had, most part took advantage of. Changeup swung on a miss, and it's 2-1. Labette loaded the bases on 3 walks in the first. But in the middle of that, Jake Bunz, the Blue Dragon starter, was injured and replaced by L.J. McDonough. 2-1 pitch. Ground ball right side, and that's going to skitter into right field for a base hit. So Craley gets his first hit of the afternoon and of the series. A 1-out single. Now the right fielder, Tate Saldana. Saldana was 1 for 4 with a seeing eye single. That came in the 6th. He hit an opposite field grounder to the right side that just got past the diving attempt of second baseman Ryan Moritz and drove in a run. Breaking pitch from Nedved misses low, ball 1. Saldana hitting .274, a home run. That RBI yesterday was his 13th of the year. The 1-0 pitch. Pulled foul outside of third. Count even at 1-1. Middle infield, a double play depth. Nedved comes set out of the stretch and delivers. Cued off the end of the bat, foul by Saldana. He trails in the count, of ball and 2 strikes. This series initially was supposed to start Thursday, but with all the heavy rain and the flooding conditions, things were pushed back to yesterday in the doubleheader, possibly today. 1-2 pitch. Grounded up the middle. Sartori misplays and it goes into center field. It'll be another error. Now a throw behind the runner. And Sartori can't handle that ball either. That's the 5th error of the series on the Blue Dragons. And you just can't give teams this many free opportunities. So now it's 2 on, 1 out for first baseman Rustin Postier. Nedved's pitch outside, ball 1. This is what you get, a little bit of a, let's put it this way, the Dragons' best defense isn't out behind Nedved in this particular alignment, but Sartori usually sure-handed. Just misplayed that one, 1-0. That one's hit to center field, coming on. Cesar makes the catch with a basket catch. That's the speed of Cesar. And that's a great defensive play by the freshman. Postier lines out to center field. So now 2 on, 2 out for the second baseman, Abner DeJesus. DeJesus yesterday, there's a bunt popped back and out of play. He wasn't bunting for a sacrifice, he was bunting for a hit. DeJesus was 0 for 3. He was hit once with a pitch and struck out twice. The pitch. Breaking pitcher, a strike outside corner, 0-2. So Nedved a strike away from getting out of this 2-out jam. You know, we mentioned it yesterday, but over the last 20 games, Blue Dragon pitchers have allowed 41 runs with 2 outs. The 0-2. In the dirt, 1-2. And the one yesterday that Ryan Summers gave up to Postier, it was out away from getting out of the jam, and Ryan Summers, who a fat runner at third goes, is a swing and a miss and a strikeout, and the inning is over. And I'll continue that thought a little bit later in the game. But DeJesus strikes out, and the Cardinals strand a couple. No runs, a hit, an error, and 2 left. We go to the bottom of the second. Dragons 0 and the Cardinals 0. You guys got stuff to do. I can always jump off and do what I have to do. Oh, okay. Huh? Welcome back to Hobart-Detter Field, everybody. Steve Carpenter with you. Game number 2 of the Region 6 best of 3. Labette leads the series 1-0. No score in game number 2. Bottom of the second, it'll be Riley Metzger to lead it off. Riles had a home run yesterday and tied the game at 1. Metzger finished 1 for 3. He also walked and struck out once. Metzger now hitting .358 with 8 home runs and 48 driven in. Strike called over his last 5 games. Riley's 5 for 19 with a pair of home runs and 5 RBIs. The pitch. Off speed, taken low for a ball, 1-1. Talked to Riley before the game. He seemed very focused, which is a good sign. The 1-1 pitch. Fly ball to the left, pretty well hit. Craley toward the line. He'll chase it down for out number 1. So 4 in a row retired by Evan Jacoby. Now it's Zack Baxley, the batter. And Zack is in the middle of a big-time funk. 1 for his last 17, 2 for his last 22, and Bax has seen his average drop to 283. Ground ball slowly hit left side to his right and charging his Lord. Throws, not in time. That's an infield single.
While we put it in play, boys.
So Bax gets Hutchinson's first hit, an infield single to short. He's on with 1 out for third baseman Zion Bolin. Zion had his 10-game hitting streak snapped yesterday with an 0 for 3. He did have 1 sacrifice bunt and 1 strikeout. Zion hitting .289 for the year with 4 home runs and 27 RBIs. The pitch. Big cut and a miss. And those are simply the cuts the Dragons have to cut down on. Right now, the grip it and rip it mentality is not paying dividends. Safely over at first by Baxley with the left-handed pitch and Jacoby the pitch. Foul off to the right. It's a 0-2 count on Zion Bolin. Bolin has walked 23 times this year, been hit 8 times, on base of 441, slugging 439. The pitch. Upstairs for ball 1 and 2. Over Hutchinson's last 5 games, Bolin hitting .357 with 5 hits. None for extra bases, and he's driven in 1. He saw his average go up 40 points during that 10-game hitting streak. Baxley not a real threat to go at first. He does have 6 steals and 10 attempts, though. He made a big-time aggressive move on the bases yesterday. The pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3, and that one was out of the zone. Third strikeout for Evan Jacoby. And right now, the league has the book on the Blue Dragons. They know they're going to chase up as a team. And until the Blue Dragons adjust, it's going to be like this. Now Ryan Moritz, the sophomore from Omaha. He steps in, hitting .309 for the year. 2 home runs and 21 driven in. First pitch hacks and fouls it back. Mo yesterday was 1 for 2 with an infield single. He drew 2 walks. Also struck out once. The pitch. In the dirt. Baxley's going to try to move up. The throw, and he's in there. It'll be a wild pitch. As mentioning, Baxley made an aggressive move yesterday to end up getting Hutchinson's 3rd run. He made that particular read on going 2nd to 3rd on a wild pitch, was in safely. Good throw would have had him. But on the very next pitch, Baxley scored on another wild pitch, and that cut the Dragon deficit to 4-3. 1-1 to count to Mo, a chance at a 2-out RBI opportunity. Downstairs, 2-1. The Dragons have had good luck this year with 2 outs. As a team hitting .308 with 163 2-out RBIs, Moritz is 15 for 60 with 7 2-out RBIs. And normally he'll hit one to left center. That's where he gets a lot of his production. The pitch. Takes one to left field. That's going to get down for a base hit. The ball bobbled, but rounding third is Baxley, and the Blue Dragons are going to have their first lead of the series. A 2-out RBI by Ryan Moritz. He will take 2nd on the throw, and the Dragons have a 1-0 lead. So a solid single to left by Mo. He drives in RBI number 22. And now the catcher, Max McGuire. The sophomore transfer catcher from Lincoln, by way of Missouri State. Max was 0 for 3 with a walk and 2 strikeouts yesterday, hitting .252 for the year. He's had 5 home runs and has driven 23 runs in. Lays off an off-speed offering from Jacoby, and it's ball one. This is the Dragons' first lead of the series. They were tied at 1, tied at 2, but they never had the lead yesterday. When scoring first, the Dragons are 27-9. Ground ball left side. That's in for a base hit. Moritz is being waved around third. The throw from Craley is not in time, and the Dragons have a 2-0 lead. Back-to-back two-out RBIs for the Dragons. This time, Max McGuire drives in run number 24, and Hutch has a 2-0 lead. And again, you don't have to kill the ball. Just put it where they ain't. That's the old hitting adage. Now Jeremiah Cesar, seeing his first action of the series. The freshman center fielder hitting .289, 4 doubles, 24 hits. Yes. Oh, that's right. He did bunt. That's right. That's right. Cesar, his last 4 at-bats against left-handed pitching, 2 have gone for doubles. Both have been pulled down the right into the right field corner of the pitch. Foul back out of play. Jeremiah with 24 strikeouts in 83 at-bats. You'd love to see him put the ball on the ground a lot more and use that incredible speed of his. But he does try to muscle up on balls. Slightly open stance. Here's the pitch. Swung at an off-speed offering, and he trails in the count 0-2. But the Dragons have a couple on the board here in the second. Against lefties this year, Cesar 4 for 17. The pitch. Slider misses low and away, 1-2. Three hits in the inning for the Blue Dragons. 2 have crossed, both with 2 outs. Check at the runner, the 1-2. Got him on an off-speed offering, and that's out number 3. But the Dragons come up with a pair of 2-out hits from Ryan Moritz and Max McGuire. 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 left after 2. Dragons 2, Cardinals 0. Dragons enjoying their first lead of the series. Long way to go. Both of these games today, if we do play a third game in this series, well, everything's scheduled for 9 innings and will be for the remainder of the season. Labette got a couple on, and Dylan Nedved strand. Now Dante Federico leads off the third for Labette and takes outside ball 1. Federico yesterday, 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. He walked once. Pitch must have missed up. It was definitely over the plate. It's ball 2. Federico hitting .260. 26 total hits, no home runs, 11 RBIs. Now it's 3-0. Just like yesterday, the Dragons scored runs, and instantly the pitchers put themselves in their own hole. A 4-pitch walk to the number 9 batter. That usually spells trouble. So it's back to the top of the order, and shortstop Landon Lord. He grounded out to second baseman Ryan Moritz, who made a nice play to his right on the very first pitch of the game. Aaron Keel, the 20th-year head coach. Very much old-school mentality. We'll see if he's bunting. Nedved throws over. Federico, if you're wondering, 7 steals and 11 attempts. The Cardinals this year have stolen 40 of 48, so not a huge base-running team. Tried several hit and runs yesterday. The pitch. Little looper center. Cesar coming on. He can't get to it. Fields throws. Do they get the force? No. So it's infield, or it's a single for Lord. And it's 2 on, nobody out to start the third. So now designated hitter Sam Walker, he fouled out his first time. Likely to be a bunt situation here. Lefty-righty matchup. Third baseman Zion bowling even with the bag. He shows bunt and takes low and in, ball 1. Every time the Blue Dragons scored a run yesterday, Labette capitalized in the next half inning. Usually off Blue Dragon mistakes. Showing bunt is bunted foul by Walker, and the count evens at 1-1. The man, the myth, the legend, Dan Nacarado has joined us in the press box. Federico from second and Lord from first. Walker showing bunt, and bunts through it for a strike. Bunted the pitch up. Might have been a ball. But now it's 1-2. A 4-pitch walk and a bloop single to center have Labette set up here in the third, trailing 2-0. Nedved up in the count here, 1-2 the pitch. Ground ball to second. Moritz will tag for 1, on to first. That's a double play. Well played by Ryan. He wasn't going to turn it the natural way to get both of them, so he makes the tag on Lord, then flips to Baxley at first. Now it's a runner at third with 2 outs for the team's best hitter in Drew White. White struck out looking his first time up. 0 for 4 in the series, the pitch. Hangs over the inner half and is pulled foul. White 4th in the league with 18 doubles. He's driven in 39. Slugging .713. That's 5th best in the Jayhawk. The 0-1. Off speed, grounded up the middle, and another 2-out hit that produces a run given up by Blue Dragon pitching. Labette cuts the lead to 2-1. That is now 42 runs scored in the last 21 games with 2 out by opposing batters. Now the third baseman, Justin Perez, tying run at first. Pitch taken for strike 1, outside corner. Nedved's pitch. Off speed in the dirt from 1-1. That's just an amazing stat for a pitching staff that has decimated the record books in terms of strikeouts. Strike on the outside corner at the knees, 1-2 to Perez. For the season, opposing batters nab 159 2-out RBIs, or 115 2-out RBIs. Teams are hitting 250 against Blue Dragon pitchers. Same location but different call. 2-2. Again, Sam Schartz behind the plate. Jay Sanderson at third. Todd Segweg at first. Pop up, shallow center, back is Moritz. He makes the grab, and the inning is over. But another 2-out RBI comes across for Labette. They get 1 run on 2 hits, and the leadoff walk does come home to roost. After 2.5, our new score, Dragons 2 and the Cardinals 1. Check of the Region 6 scoreboard. Third inning at McDonald Stadium in El Dorado. Butler and Neosho no score. Butler has a 1-0 lead in that series. They came back late to win 4-3 last night. Neosho had a 3-run lead going into the 8th. Seward and Fort Scott scoreless at Fort Scott. That's game 1 of that series. That's the last series to get started. And as of right now, those are the only updates I see. Bottom of the third rolls around here. 2-1 Hutchinson. Logan Sartori will lead it off. Each team now with 3 hits. Logan Sartori struck out looking his first time. Sartori now 2 for 6 in the series. Off-speed offering from Evan Jacoby is over the outside corner for strike 1. Jacoby 36 pitches. He's allowed 3 hits, 2 earned runs, has 2 strikeouts. Pitching exclusively out of the stretch. Sartori lines one to left field. That gets him for a hit. Big turn at first. That's a leadoff single for Sartori. And for Logan, that is career hit number 141, and that ties Thad Weber for 9th most all-time in Blue Dragon history. 141 career hits. Now Dylan Nedved, he struck out swinging his first time. He doubled in his first at-bat yesterday and is hitting this in his next 6. Pitch in the dirt. Drew White blocks it. No advancement by Sartori. Want to throw a headset on, Coach Knack?
Sure.
There you go.
Thank you. Stay out of your way.
Jacoby comes set, now delivers. And on the hands, and it's fouled back. 1-1 the count. In just a few seconds, I'm going to be joined by none other than a very good friend of mine, a great instructor at Hutchinson Community College, Dan Nacarado. Coach Knack, welcome.
It's a great day for baseball, right here in the center of the garden spot of the universe.
Dragons lead it 2-1. Sartori leads off the bottom third with a single. Now it's a 1-1 count to Dylan Nedved. Time called. They call the balk. I wasn't looking, but Sam Schartz calls the balk, and that's going to bring Aaron Keel out to question it. I did not see what exactly happened. I was actually getting Coach Knack on. Did you happen to notice, Knack, what happened?
I think we distracted him as I was putting the headset on, and it made him flinch.
Well, either way, the Dragons now have a runner in scoring position with no outs. Yesterday, the Dragons were just 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position.
Over time, baseball has a way of evening those things out.
So now it's a 1-1 count to Nedved. He's been one of the hotter hitters, but he's even cooled off as of late over the last couple games. Jacoby steps off. Over his last 5, Dylan Nedved is hitting .294, 5 for 17. Does have a couple of home runs and 5 RBIs over that stretch. The pitch. High fly to right. Playable for Saldano. Catch is made. Sartori's going to tag and head to third. The throw not in time. So a productive out for Nedved, moving Sartori to second, from second to third. And there's one out.
Sartori's fast enough that play wasn't even close.
Now Zane Schmidt, 0 for his last 11. And right now his swing, there is such a severe uppercut. He just kind of fell in love with the home run ball. He has 20 on the year, but it's really dismantled his swing. Grounded to the opposite way, the short is the first time up. Hits this one to right field, and that's going to be an RBI single, and the Dragons lead it 3-1. Zane Schmidt drives into league-leading 65th RBI with a ground ball through the right side. That's how you get it done, Coach Knack.
Zane Schmidt's a good one. Good man, both on the field and off the field, as are a lot of these Blue Dragon baseball players.
Hutch now with 5 hits. Riley Metzger the batter. So they get the run back. They gave up in the top of the third. This one a one-out single by Zane Schmidt. The pitch. Hard hit ball right side. That's a base hit. Schmidt had to jump over it. The throw comes all the way in. Good throw from right fielder Tate Saldano. But that was close to interference. The hard hit ball through the right side. Pat Becker, the track coach, should have been recruiting those hurdler skills of Zane Schmidt.
If we get some more rain, it'd be a steeplechase.
So now 3 hits in the inning. They produce 1. Runners at first and second with 1 out for Zack Baxley. Bax with an infield single and a run scored. Takes a big cut and a miss for strike 1 at a pitch that might have been out of the zone.
Hobart-Detter Field certainly looks fantastic. It looks like waves in the outfield, the way the grass is mowed.
Baxley in the second inning had his 104th career hit. He takes that pitch low and in for a ball, 1-1. Bax coming into this one a .311 career hitter. 104 hits, 21 doubles, 5 triples, 10 home runs. And now we'd love to drive in his 70th run of the year with the runner in scoring position, or 70th run of his career. Off-speed offering, misses high for a ball, 2-1.
Labette outfield appropriately showing some respect, playing pretty deep. Are there any run rules in the postseason, Carp?
10 after 7, except for the championship game at Region 6 in Wichita. Here's the pitch. Big cut and a miss, and it's 2-2. As Bax's streak has been, where he's had just now 3 hits over his last 24 at bats, he's been chasing everything up. Here's the 2-2. Struck him out.
Good pitch.
Second out of the inning. Now to bring up Zion Bolin. He struck out his first time. Evan Jacoby now with 5 strikeouts. Yesterday, the Dragons struck out 10 times. In doing so, set the all-time record for strikeouts in the season.
Well, at least we got that going for us.
A dubious record. The pitch. Zion taps one foul. Might have caught a piece of the catcher, Drew White. He's going to take a moment to recover. Home plate umpire Sam Schartz will give him a moment.
How's the Blue Dragon team home run count?
The Blue Dragons now 5th all-time with 78 home runs.
Yeah, a lot of times that strikeout count and the home run count kind of go hand in hand.
They really do. And right now, baseball, just in general, is in a grip it and rip it mentality.
That's true.
You and I are not complete fans of that. We'd rather see the ball in play.
I'd be a fan of it if I was able to hit it over the fence.
The 0-1. That's a line shot past the center, or shortstop into center field. Rounding third is Schmidt. He will score. Here comes the throw to third. It's up the line, and everybody's going to be safe. Bolin moves up to second on the throw, and the Dragons lead it 4-1. Another two-out hit for the Blue Dragons. This one coming from Zion Bolin.
The ball was well struck by Zion. It got on the shortstop in a hurry. He made a diving attempt. That was a pretty valiant effort. Just couldn't quite get to it.
For Zion, that is RBI number 28. And pitching coach Alex Copland's going to come out and speak with Evan Jacoby. Now 7 hits in the game for the Blue Dragons. They've already surpassed their total of yesterday, just into the third inning.
The Labette outfield have continually thrown to the lead base instead of throwing to second, and that has cost them a run in the second inning for sure. That they attempted to throw home instead of just hitting the cutoff man at second base.
If you ever want to make sure that is just check out the movie A League of Their Own, and Tom Hanks will set you straight on that.
But on that occasion, I thought the ball probably should have gone to second base as well.
Yes, we had an incident yesterday where Willrich probably should have went to second, through to third, ended up being with 2 errors on the same play, 2 throwing errors. But that was yesterday, and A League of Their Own's at least 20 years old now, so just a good reference.
A
good reference.
But it never gets old.
It never gets old.
It's one of those movies when you're flipping channels, you can't help lingering on it when you see it.
Here's Ryan Moritz, an RBI single his first time up. Went to left field the opposite way, and that's when he's going good. That's where he goes. Slider outside. Good stop from the catcher, Drew White. Metzger at third, Bolin at second. The Dragons have scored 2 runs in each of the second and third innings, and Hutch looks for more. 3 of 4 Hutchinson's runs have come with 2 out. A reversal of what happened yesterday in Game 1. Pitch high and tight, and it's 2-0.
Pitch count's probably getting up there a little bit.
Just pitch number 51, 37 have been for strikes.
Well, he's been pounding the zone.
Seems like every pitcher lately has been pounding the zone against Hutchinson. Cloud County pitchers were wonderful at hitting almost 75% strikes over that series. A pitch. Big cut and a miss by Moe, and it's 2-1.
Probably want to be between 65 and 75% if you're a college pitcher.
Ryan Moritz now 82 career hits as a Blue Dragon. The pitch. Slow roller right side. This could be trouble. Fielded by the first baseman. Safe at first, and a run scores. That was just hitting a perfect spot. The first baseman posterior went far to his right, and only the pitcher Jacoby could cover. And Moritz beat him to the bag. Metzger scores from third. Bolin goes to third, and Hutchinson leads it 5-1.
Jacoby was a little bit slow getting to first base to cover. It was actually a pretty good throw, but it's one of those plays that when the batter is hustling down that first baseline so well, it's hard to get him.
Second RBI of the game for Moritz, now 23 for the season. And Max McGuire, the batter, with runners at the corners and 2 away. It's now 4 2-out RBIs for the Blue Dragons in this one. The pitch is in the dirt and back toward the screen. Coming down the line is Bolin to score at 6-2. Big turnout at second for Moritz, but he stays put, and it's a 4-run third inning.
I'll just go on record right now, Carp. I told Denny Steckline last night that I'm putting the over-under for Blue Dragon runs today at 28. I'm
Really?
expecting a big offensive
Now
day of production.
Aaron Keel pops out, and that's going to end the day for Evan Jacoby on the mound. We're going to have a pitching change, and we'll tell you about the new Cardinal pitcher after this break. Hutchinson with a 4-run third now leads at 6-1. This is Blue Dragon Baseball. Sidearmer Adam Rodriguez will make his second appearance of the series. He is a 5'11", 195-pound sophomore from Houston.
Definitely a different look from the previous pitcher from Jacoby. Could give a right-handed hitter a little bit of trouble.
Rodriguez on for the 17th time, 10th out of the pen, 2-5 record with a 6.71 earned run average. Rodriguez 36 2/3 innings pitched, 39 runs, 39 hits, 40 strikeouts, 29 walks. Yesterday, he takes over here with a 1-0 count on McGuire. Ryan Moritz at second. Here's the pitch. Way outside, nearly got past Drew White again, and it's 2-0.
Side-armed pitchers tend to miss inside and outside. That release point has to be exactly right to control it over the plate.
The 2-0 pitch, skied a mile high in the infield. Now who's going to find it? It's the pitcher in fair territory, Adam Rodriguez, and the inning is over.
That's usually a third baseman's play, but the pitcher made a nice play on it.
Dragons come up with 4 runs on 5 hits. There were no errors and 1 left. And after 3 innings here in game number 2, it is the Dragons 6 and the Cardinals 1. Dragons offense has come back to life. 2 in the second, 4 in the third, and now Dylan Nedved, as we enter the 4th inning, strapped to a 6-1 lead in this must-win game for the Blue Dragons. Labette leads the series 1-0. It'll be Josh Craley, Tate Saldana, and Rustin Postier, 5, 6, and 7 here in the Labette 4th. First pitch from Dylan Nedved, inside ball 1 through 3 innings. Dylan Nedved has allowed 3 hits, 1 earned run. He has walked 1 and struck out 2. Coming up is pitch number 46, and it sails outside for ball 2.
Nedved has been efficient today.
46 pitches, 29 strikes. Here's the pitch, foul back toward the engorged Arkansas River. That one might add to the flooding issues when it plunks in.
The water is high.
It's down from yesterday. It is way down from yesterday. The 2-1 pitch is hit left center field. Metzger and Cesar giving chase. Riley Metzger will chase it down for out number 1.
If you're coming out to Hobart-Detter Field today, Main Street is not the way to come because the water is a little bit too high to drive through, where the overpass for the train, so you have to go to Plum Street and come that route instead.
Here's Tate Saldana. He reached on an error by shortstop Logan Sartori. There's a strike. I think Logan got caught between decisions on that. It was a tailor-made double play ball, and he just got going a little bit too soon and ended up having the ball go right through him. Pitch back to the screen, and it's 1-1. The Dragons went to this particular alignment where Sartori was the main shortstop. Moritz was the main second baseman. during the Seward County series, and overall it's been a pretty good defensive series. Here's a ground ball to short. Sartori Fields throws, and it throws him off the bag. It'll be a throwing error.
Oh, that's a tough
so?
scoring decision there. That was a tough play.
Yeah, we'll give it a hit. I probably should. It was.
The most fun part of baseball is to debate these type plays.
No, I'm going. I gotta go. I gotta go there. I can't talk myself out of that one.
I'm not sure he would have got him had the throw been on time.
I think he would have. So it's a error on the Blue Dragons. Put it on the wrong side. And here's Rustin Postier. Pitch taken upstairs for ball one. No, actually, I'm going with my gut. That's the 6th error of the series for the Blue Dragons. There's a ground ball right side that's in for a hit. Saldana will stop at second. Here come the Cardinals right back. It seems like every time the Dragons score a run, as light hitting as the Cardinals have been overall, they keep coming back and putting pressure on the Dragons. They're not going to make it easy.
Now, 9-inning games take on a little bit different complexion than 7-inning games.
Dragons have out-hit Labette 8-4. Abner DeJesus shows bunt and takes outside ball one. One out here in the 4th, 2 on.
When your first name is Abner, you have to play baseball.
The pitch. Not bunting. This one's popped up, back out of play.
It really turned out to be a great day for baseball.
It's overcast, but it's supposed to get better. It's bunted along third. It's going to go foul.
One of those
Zion
days
Bull's
where
going to touch it up.
If you're an outfielder, you don't lose the ball in the sun today.
Over the last couple of weeks, that has been an issue. Most of the year has been played just like this, an overcast, and that 2-week stretch where it was really clear, the outfielders, and it happened both here and at Colby, at Seward County. There were a lot of lost balls in the high skies. Neither Dragons have rolled one double play today. That fastball misses outside, and it's 2-2. A couple of former Blue Dragons in the ballpark today. Ryan Steckline and Alex Ruxlow.
Good man. Ryan Steckline celebrated a birthday a couple of days ago.
Ground ball right side. Diving stop Sartori to throw to third. Is not in time, and the Cardinals have him loaded. That'll be a hit.
That was an amazing effort. Made the play very close at third base.
Yes, he did. Good effort by Sartori, but now the Cardinals have him loaded for 9-hole hitter Dante Federico. Federico walked and scored in the 3rd. 5 hits now for the Cardinals. The pitch. Big swing and a miss.
Sometimes a pitcher can let the batter get himself out with the bases loaded because that hitter really wants those RBIs.
Out of the stretch, the 0-1 from Nedved outside. Good stop by Max McGuire. Nedved's pitch count up to 60 with 38 strikes. Dillon's got a lot of movement today. He's sometimes having problems harnessing that movement. The 1-1 to Federico. One late on a fastball. It's 1-2.
This is that situation where a pitcher will try to let a batter just get himself out.
1-2 pitch. Didn't miss by much.
Oh,
the curveball. Dillon smiling out there. He thought he had it.
That was a good take.
This year with the bases loaded, opponents are 18 for 69 against the Blue Dragons. That's a .261 average. Now the 2-2 to Federico. Way high outside, full count. Lefty-righty matchup. Here's the payoff pitch. Got him swinging 2 away. That's where you just challenge the batter and say, hit it if you can.
And now Dylan just needs to put those base runners completely out of his mind and pitch as if there was no one on base.
Third strikeout of the game for Dylan Nedved. He'll face the leadoff hitter, Landon Lord. He singled in the third. 1 for 2 in the game. The pitch. Fastball misses low and away, ball 1.
This is one of those moments in a game where if you can escape bases loaded with one out without giving anything up, that's a pretty good sign that things are going your way.
Here's the 1-0. Late on a fastball, 1-1. Outfield, playing moderate depth at all three positions. The right fielder, Zane Schmidt, probably the most shallow and right. Here's the 1-1. Nasty off-speed pitch. Fell right off the table. Foul tipped into the glove of McGuire. And now it's 1-2 to Landon Lord.
Just a pitch away from getting out of the jam.
Nedved will work out of the windup with the bases loaded. 1-2. Here it is. Got him swinging, and the inning is over. Dylan Nedved just took it upon himself. Bases were loaded with one out, and back-to-back strikeouts for the Dragon sophomore. And the Cardinals leave him loaded. No runs, 2 hits, 1 error, and 3 left. We head to the bottom of the fourth. Dragons 6 and the Cardinals 1. Dragons work out of a big jam. Bases loaded, 1 out. Dylan Nedved gets back-to-back strikeouts. Now it's a 6-1 Hutchinson lead, playing the bottom of the fourth in game 2. A must-win for Hutchinson. 9-1-2 here in the fourth against relief pitcher Adam Rodriguez. And Jeremiah Cesar hits one to left. Easy play for Craley. He's got it. And Knack, you would love to see the Willie Mays Hayes effect take with Jeremiah Cesar. Hit it on the ground and let the speed work.
Jay is very fast.
1 away for Logan Sartori. He's 1 for 2. Right now tied for 9th with Thad Weber with 141 career hits. He looks to take 9th place over by himself. He's tied with a Hall of Famer.
Good pitcher, outstanding hitter, Thad Weber.
Pitch to Sartori, foul back.
Class of 2004.
2006.
2006?
Yeah, he came here in 04.
Oh,
Redshirted in
okay.
4, and then played on the World Series team with your son in 5.
Okay.
And the Jayhawk West championship team in 06. The 0-1. Right through there from Rodriguez for a strike.
Carp, I want to make sure that I have the opportunity to thank you for broadcasting all of these Blue Dragon baseball games. I know I speak for a lot of people who look forward to watching and listening to your play-by-play.
Well, I appreciate that. Here's the 0-2. Slider way outside. Ball and 2 strikes. Yesterday, Rodriguez worked 1 inning, gave up a run, no hits. Walked 2 and struck out 1, had 2 wild pitches. That came in the 8th inning. That was the run that Baxley scored on the wild pitch. 1-2 delivery, bounces in, and it's 2-2.
Steve Carpenter, your play-by-play of Blue Dragon baseball, just one of many reasons that you were honored as Hutchinson Community College Employee of the Semester yesterday.
That was quite a shock. And my coworkers, especially the one off to my right, he's a pretty good actor. I'll tell that story in a minute. 2-2 pitch.
I sense that
Foul ball.
that it took a little bit of persuading for you to be at the meeting, to be honest.
It wouldn't have. Yes, I was definitely in baseball mode yesterday. And
Steve Kaffenman worked some magic along with.
And Josh was pulling the strings from California like a master puppeteer. Here's the 2-2. Low full count. Now, you say that, Coach. Now, you talk about my play-by-play. You have to tell the story. We may save this for the next inning, but in 2010, you had the cleanest car in the city of Hutchinson listening to Blue Dragon baseball, especially at Region 6, the Cali game especially.
You and Brad Hallier had me spellbound.
3-2 pitch is lifted to right. Saldano toward the line, slowing down. He makes the catch for out number 2.
And Blue Dragon baseball made it especially exciting in that postseason.
That team just never said die. They won. Let me think back here. 3, 6, 8. They won 8 games in the postseason. They trailed in 7 and won 3 in extra innings. Finished 3rd in the World Series that year. Two away now for pitcher Dylan Nedved, who's 0 for 2. A strikeout and a fly out to right. Late on that fastball from Rodriguez, 0-1.
Mother Nature got pretty heavily involved in that postseason.
Especially up at Johnson County. Even the one day in Wichita we got pushed back today, if I recall. The 0-1. Off-speed offering swung on and missed, and it's 0-2. This is Rodriguez's 3rd appearance against the Blue Dragons this year. He pitched the first game on February 26th at Pittsburgh. The 0-2 pitch, inside nearly hit him. Did not retire a batter as the starter. Faced 6 in what became a 9-run first inning. Rodriguez gave up 5 hits and 6 runs. Walked 1 and was pulled after 6 batters. Nedved lifts one to right center. Federico and Saldano both giving chase. It's the right fielder, Saldano, making the catch. And the Dragons go 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 4th. We head to the 5th inning here at Hobart-Detter Field. Dragons 6 and the Cardinals 1. Four innings complete here at Hobart-Detter Field, and a must-win for the Blue Dragons. They lead at 6-1 over Labette. Dylan Nedved back out to the mound. Steve Carpenter being joined by Dan Nacarado. Dan's done a few broadcasts with me over the years.
Always a pleasure to be near you, on or off the air.
Score update from Butler. Butler well on their way to a sweep in Neosho County. They lead 6-0 in the 4th. So that's the update there. Butler won their first game 4-3 yesterday. That pitch by the designated hitter Sam Walker fouled back. That's how we start the 5th. Walker 0 for 2. Fouled out and then grounded out to second. Swings over the top of that off-speed offering from Dylan Nedved, and it's 0-2. Outfield straight away for the Blue Dragons. That pitch high and outside. Walker did not play yesterday. He was 0 for 5 in the series. There's a swing and a miss, and that's a strikeout for out number 1 here in the 5th. Dylan Nedved, we'll check his numbers. Now 4 1/3 innings, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 earned run, and 5 hits and 72 pitches.
And did a great job getting out of a bases-loaded jam in the top of the 3rd.
Now catcher Drew White. He had an RBI single in the 3rd, a 2-out single. That cut the Dragon lead at that point to 2-1, but the Dragons came back with 4 in the bottom of the 3rd to take the current 6-1 lead. Here's the 1-0. Off speed, swung on and missed. Dylan's curveball really has been dominant during this late streak of his, where he's been very good on the mound. Here's a 1-1. Fastball low and away.
Carp, as you observed earlier, that ball is moving actively. That's a tough pitch to hit.
It's almost like you're too amped up. 2-1 pitch. Ground ball right side. Moritz to his right. Gobbles it up and throws over. 2 away.
Carp, did Labette actually come to Hutchinson on Thursday?
They were here Wednesday night.
They were here Wednesday
night. There was hopes that the Blue Dragons would open the series Thursday, but that last rain on Wednesday night did us in. There was just enough that got through the tarp after nearly 6 inches of rain all week. Now Perez, the third baseman.
Good pitch.
Strike called outside corner.
Well, if this Labette team stays here another couple of days, I think they officially become Hutchinson citizens.
Here's the 0-1. Foul off. At least they got to pay rent.
We'll send a tax bill to them.
Well, the good thing is that their head coach, Aaron Keel, is also the AD, so he can expedite that. The 0-2 from Nedved to Perez is a high pop, shallow right, back Moritz in Schmidt. It's Moritz taking charge, and it's a 1-2-3 5th inning for Dylan Nedved in the top of the 5th. Halfway through in game number 2 of this must-win game for the Blue Dragons. The score, Hutchinson 6 and Labette 1. Well, another graduation class took their trip across the sports arena stage last night. A couple of Blue Dragons did walk in that, and I was happy to hear. Normally, Blue Dragon baseball is in Wichita during graduation, and baseball usually never gets a chance to walk, but a couple did last night, including one Miguel Reyes, who just committed to the University of New Mexico. So congratulations to Miguel. Middle third of the order for the Dragons here in the 5th, Metzger, Baxley, and Bolin. Zane Schmidt drove in his 65th run of the year back in the 3rd. That was part of Hutchinson's 4-run 3rd inning. He takes ball 1 here against Adam Rodriguez, who begins his 2nd full inning of work. He's been equally a starter and reliever for Aaron Keel. Pitch outside for a ball, and it's 2-0.
Nearly 1,000 Blue Dragon students earn degrees, either certificates or associate's degree of one kind or another. We offer 54 different programs of study at Hutchinson Community College. Something for everybody.
3-0 now to Schmidt. A pitch outside. That base hit by Schmidt in the 3rd broke an 0 for 11 for the freshman from Kearney, Nebraska. Here's the cripple. And it's a 4-pitch walk to start the 5th. That is the second walk of the series issued to Zane Schmidt. Good wheels on the bases for Riley Metzger. He had an a single and a run scored in the 3rd. Riley now 2 for 5 in the series. Homered yesterday.
Tied it up with that home run, didn't he, Carp?
Tied it up at 1-1. And then Sartori's home run tied it up at 2. And the old faded 8th inning. First pitch hacking is Riles, and he fouls it back to the screen off to our left.
Riley's was a no-doubter. Was it to center field?
Dead center field. Over the trees was not a doubt. As Harry Doyle said, it left a vapor trail. The 0-1. Riles pops one up. Shallow center. Could be trouble. Long run is caught by the center fielder Federico. He came a long way.
He really did.
The shortstop, Landon Lord, really never saw it. And Federico's playing deep and made a long, long run to make that catch. That just tells you how high Riley hit it. 1 out now for Zack Baxley. Bax singled and struck out and scored a run.
Zane Schmidt did a good job on the base running, going halfway on that ball, so he would be safe whether it was caught or not.
Dragons about hit Labette 8-5. They've already hit their total from yesterday by 3. A pitch, nice backhanded stop by the catcher Drew White.
That was about as far as White could have possibly reached off the plate to stop that ball.
Rodriguez comes set. The pitch. Backs lifts one to right. Playable for Saldano. Back a few steps now to his left. He's got it. Going halfway again is Schmidt, and he returns to first. Now with 2 away.
Dragons are making excellent contact. They're just barely missing these pitches.
This has been a team that just doesn't ground out a bunch, and the numbers bear that out over the season. Bolin steps in now with 2 away. He had an RBI 2-out single back in the 3rd. He's 1 for 2. Here's the pitch. Outside for a ball. The Dragons coming into this one, and actually the numbers are a lot closer than I thought, but 384 flyouts to 365 groundouts.
That's still a lot of flyouts.
That's a lot of fly ball outs. And then you throw in the 476 strikeouts. The 1-0. Big hack and a miss by Bolin up in the zone, and it's 1-1. If there's one thing I've been disappointed on just watching this team develop this year is the plate discipline and the pitch selection. They really put themselves in some holes at times, and yesterday was one of those times. Here's the pitch. Outside, another backhanded stop by Drew White. He saved at least 3 bases in this inning alone. Again, the Dragons over their last 3 games coming into this one, we're just hitting 200 with 8 runs, 17 total hits. And we're just 3 for 16 with runners in scoring position. That's a 188 average. The numbers aren't much better over 5 games. Move over to first, back into Schmidt. In case you're wondering, Zane Schmidt, 5 steals and 6 attempts this year. The Dragons 72 for 95 overall, but their stolen base production over the last 30 games has dropped dramatically. The pitch. That one's way back to the screen. White didn't have a chance to stop that one.
Just a bit outside.
Schmidt moves up to second. Now in scoring position with 2 outs. So another chance at a 2-out RBI opportunity for Zion Bolin. Zion this year with 2 outs. Has 11 2-out RBIs and is 10 for 33. Zion missed some time with a leg injury. Had his 10-game hitting streak snapped yesterday, but has hit safely in 10 of his last 11. 3-1. Hit well to center field. Federico going back, looking up, and it's high off the fence. A run will score as Schmidt scores, and it's a 2-out RBI double for Zion Bolin to make it 7-1. He didn't miss a home run by much.
No, that was about 2 feet from the top of the fence in center field. He's he's muscled up quite a bit this year. His shoulders are broad, and he's got some power.
Zion, one of the more athletic players you're ever going to see. He is built compactly and tough. Zion drives in his second run of the day. Double number 6, RBI number 29. Dragons lead at 7-1, now with 9 hits in the game. And here's Mo, who's 2 for 2.
Definitely nothing cheap about that Zion Bolin double.
Mord's 2 for 2, 2 singles, 2 RBIs. Also a run scored. Here's the 1-0. That one's hit the center field. On the bat, going back is Federico. Chase it down, and the inning is over. But some good swings by the Dragons. They do produce a run. 1 run on 1 hit, 1 left. Zion Bolin drives in his second run of the game with a 2-out double off the wall in center field. And after 5 innings, our new score, Dragons 7 and the Cardinals 1. Going to get you a check of the scoreboard around the Region 6 tournament. Fort Scott, after 5 innings, leads Seward County 6-0 in Game 1 of that series. The winner of that series meets the winner of this series at 4 p.m. Wednesday at X Stadium in Wichita. Here, the Blue Dragons have a 7-1 lead in Game number 2. Labette leads the series 1-0. Josh Craley to lead it off for the Cardinals in the top of the 6th. The pitch is taken outside from Dylan Nedved for ball 1. That was pitch number 80 for Dylan.
Has the region tournament ever been played at Wichita State before?
No, it has not. Not in my time here. It's a line shot left field that's going to get in for a hit. Craley singles the opposite way on an 0-1-0 pitch. And that's how the 6th inning starts for Labette. And you got to give Labette Cardinals credit, Knack. Every time Hutchinson scores a run, they immediately come back and put good swings on the bat.
It's definitely a team that came to compete.
Now it's Tate Saldana who swings and misses. Saldana's reached on 2 errors, both against shortstop Logan Sartori.
Hard luck errors.
Well, the second one was. The first one was pretty much a boot. Fastball right down the chute, and it's 0-2. Trying to get you updated here as 6 series have yet to be concluded. One just getting started today. The 0-2. Pitch it on the hands is pulled foul. And it remains 0-2 to Saldana. Again, we mentioned Fort Scott in Game 1 after 5 leads Seward County. That series in Fort Scott. The Greyhounds lead at 6-0.
That was a long trip for Seward County.
Butler with an 8-0 lead in the 5th in Game 2 against Neosho County. They're well on their way to a sweep. The 0-2 pitch. Ooh. A little bit outside, 1-2. That's a good miss. No reports from Cowley Pratt. The Pesky Beavers played the Tigers tough yesterday. Cowley won 5-2. High fly down the left field line. Now into foul territory, it's Zion Bolin who's got it. Nice over-the-shoulder catch for out number 1. That's not an easy play, Knack.
No, Bolin had to run about 30 yards to track that ball down and then find it to make the play.
End of 3 in Concordia at Doyen Field. Cloud County with a 5-2 lead over Allen. Cloud County leads that series 1-0. Here's Rustin Postier. Full on a pitch. He went around for strike one. Postier is 2 for 6 in the series. He singled in the fourth, lined out to center, and a great running catch by Jeremiah Cesar. He had the big hit yesterday, a 2-run double. Pitch way inside and it hit him. We're talking about Dylan Nedved's movement, and that thing just ate Postier up. So
Postier definitely tried to evade that pitch. It's just there was no way for him to get out of the way.
Nedved plunks his 6th batter of the year. The Dragons as a staff have hit 58. 2 on, 1 out for Abner DeJesus, who's 1 for 2 with a 4th inning single.
I'm just guessing the Blue Dragons have reached more times than 58 on hit by pitches.
That would be 91.
91, just a standard year for Blue Dragon baseball.
And that's not even in the top 10 yet. Here's a 1-0 fouled straight back. Good cut by DeJesus.
By the way, Brandon, thank you very much for the camera work also. Certainly do enjoy tuning these broadcasts in on YouTube on the Blue Dragon Sports Network.
Dan referring to Brandon Sams, my video guru. It 1-1. Ground ball left side. Sartori has. Will go to third for the force, and that's a smart play by Sartori. They weren't going to turn two, so he instead just goes for the lead runner to cut down Craley at third. Now runners at first and second and 2 out. Just talk about the smartness of that play, Knack.
Well, the ball took him towards the third base side, and that's where his momentum was going, and he just kept going with it, and that was definitely his probably only play.
Dante Federico 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. The 9-hole hitter for Labette swings and misses over the top of that Dylan Nedved changeup, and it's 0-1.
When you're up by 6, you definitely want to take the sure out whenever you can get it.
0-1. Another changeup swung on a miss, and Federico down in the count 0-2. The only scores that we don't have reports on are Colby Coffeyville. Colby leads that series 1-0. And Callie Pratt will try to work on those. The 0-2 pitch. Another off speed. This one sails outside, and it's 1-2.
Every Blue Dragon sporting event is a first-class operation. Regardless of the sport, it's just very fan-friendly.
Nedved comes set, the 1-2 pitch. Fastball just misses inside. Dragon dugout wanting that one. Now it's 2-2. That one did look inside from our vantage point. Now 2-2 to Federico. Here's the pitch. Outside full count. So from 0-2 to 3-2. 3-2, 2 out. Runners at first and second. The runners will be going on the pitch. Max McGuire reminds his infield of that. Now it's up to Nedved to deliver a quality 3-2. Runners go, and it's missed inside ball 4. That hurts. To go 0-2 on the 9-hole hitter and then walk him to load the bases, and the top of the order comes back around. So for the second time in 3 innings, the Cardinals load the bases, and this one's going to bring Ryan Schmidt out. Brian Skillman, the left-hander, throwing in the Dragon pen. Pitch count for Nedved now up to 97.
This is likely his last hitter if he stays.
He threw 103 in a 7-inning game last week, a complete game against Cloud County, excuse me.
I think Coach Schmidt wants him to face one more batter. Finish his afternoon of work on the mound.
It will be the right-handed hitting Landon Lord, the leadoff hitter. Sam Schartz headed out to break it up. Schmidt, he might get a word in edgewise on the pitch they thought was a called strike.
It looks like he's just peacefully walking back to the dugout.
So now it's Postier at third, DeJesus at second, Federico at third, and Landon Lord the batter. I keep wanting to say Lane Lord, and I know that's not right. The former Barton and Pittsburgh State coach. Women's basketball coach, let me clarify.
Lane Lord's a good man.
Landon Lord 1 for 3, and he hits this one to right field, and that's down for a hit. 1 run scores. Now the ball bobbled in right field. DeJesus will score. Here comes Federico. The throw not in time, and it's a 3-run double for Lord, and the Cardinals are right back in it. Now trailing 7-4. That's going to be a hit, 3 runs scored. 1 error on Zane Schmidt, allowing Federico to score from third. And now the Cardinals are right back in it.
The fact that Zane didn't field it cleanly allowed that runner to come home instead of having to stop at third. But it was a well-hit ball. It got out there into the gap in a hurry.
High pop by Sam Walker out of play. Had to make sure I get that play in. It's only 2 RBIs on the play, credited to Lord. The third scoring on the air by Schmidt. Hutchinson now with 3 errors in the game and 7 in the series.
Yet to be determined whether that 4th run will be earned or unearned.
Exactly. Walker 0 for 3. Nedved's pitch, that went into the dirt and kicks away from the catcher McGuire, and that allows Lord to move up to third.
Carp, you said it exactly right. This Labette team came to play, and they are not going away.
You know, the key at bat was the at bat of Federico, the 9-hole hitter, the pitch. Outside for a ball 2-1. Dylan Nedved had Federico down in the count 0-2, and then he lost him. That loaded the bases, and then Lord on a 1-0 pitch doubles to right center. 2-1. Swung on and missed. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. The Dragons have had problems with the 9-hole hitter today. Federico walked earlier and scored. The pitch. Off speed, just missed the plate wide, and it's another full count.
Little surprised that Dylan stayed on the mound for another batter.
Here's the payoff. Foul back. So every time the Dragons have scored, Labette has come back with at least 1 run. And this is their biggest single inning of the series thus far, a 3-run 6. The pitch. Foul back. And, of course, they were scored with 2 out.
Nedved well over 100 pitches now.
105. That is now 45 runs scored with 2 out over the last 21 games. Struck him out.
Chased
Walker chased. Got the Dragons a break, but the Cardinals come up with 3 runs on 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 left on. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's a ball game now. Dragons 7 and the Cardinals 4. Steve Carpenter, Dan Nacarado back with you at Hobart-Detter Field. Game number 2 of this best of 3 Region 6 series. Labette's made it a game with a 3-run 6th inning. Hutchinson leads it 7-4. And now it's 8-9-1 to face Adam Rodriguez, who's kind of silenced the Hutchinson bats. He's allowed a run. First pitch swings, McGuire grounded right to short. Landon Lord throws over to first, 1 away.
McGuire had to reach for that one on the outer half, and when you pull a ball from the outer half, usually it's a ground ball to the shortstop.
That goes back to what I'm saying, pitch selection. It just hasn't been good as of late. Hutchinson, over their last 3 games, hitting just 200. One away for Jeremiah Cesar. He's 0 for 2, struck out and flew out to left. Fouls this one off to the right, or excuse me, the left.
Jay gets way up in that batter's box, and he's fast anyway, so if he does hit it on the ground to the left side, he's a tough guy to throw out.
Justin Perez, the third baseman, even with the bag. This pitch high and outside for a ball, and it's 1-1.
One of the most delightful personalities you'll ever meet.
Jeremiah has 2 bunt hits for this year. Late on that offering, and it's 1-2.
Would probably be quite a few more, but he likes to swing the bat.
Here's the 1-2. Low one in, 2-2. Dragons with 2 in the second, 4 in the third, 1 in the fifth. Labette is countered with 1 in the third and 3 in the sixth. Here's the pitch. Inside, nearly hit him, and should have let it hit him.
What? I have to do a double take. That he's not on his way to first?
That pitch was bearing right in on him, and somehow Cesar got out of the way. That is very un-Blue Dragon way.
That one would have hurt. It would have been right on the shin, so I don't really blame him. But let's see if he can get on anyway.
Full count now to Cesar. Bases empty, 1 out here in the 6th, 7-4 Blue Dragons. Payoff pitch, struck him out on the pitch up in the zone. So it's been bad pitch selection here in the 6th, 2 up and 2 down. And it's back to the top of the order, and Logan Sartori, who's 1 for 3.
Logan has had a very good season and a good career here at Hutchinson Community College.
Sartori, with his run in the 3rd, 143 runs scored. That's 3rd most in Blue Dragon history. Breaking pitch misses high for ball 1. The 2 people that Sartori trails in the run scored department, a couple pretty good players, Michael Hellman and Shane Cooper.
It's good company.
1-0. Pulled foul. Third base coach Jamel Cervantes not even making an effort on that one, and he already knows he's going to get tweeted about here shortly on the lack of effort.
I might put the same effort into the tweet that he put into trying to field it.
It's all Denny Steckline can do to avoid getting on the PA to give Coach Cervantes a hard time.
1-1, and Sartori fouls it off to the right, and it's 1-2. We have more fun with Mel on Twitter.
Coach Jamel he's a good all-around athlete. I had a chance to watch him play basketball, and he's good on the court as well.
1-2 pitch is popped up. Pitch might have been out of the zone. The pitcher Rodriguez calling for it. And a very quiet 6th inning for the Blue Dragons. 1, 2, and 3. We head to the 7th at Hobart-Detter Field in game number 2. Dragons 7, the Cardinals 4. Several changes for the Blue Dragons. Moving from third base out to right field, Zion Bolin. Moving from right field into first, Zane Schmidt. Moving from the mound to third base is Dylan Nedved, and the new Blue Dragon pitcher is freshman Brian Skillman, 5'11", 175-pounder out of Stillwater, Oklahoma. He will face 3, 4, and 5 here in the Labette 7th. The left-hander kicks and fires and delivers strike one to White. White this afternoon, 1 for 3, an RBI single in the third. He has struck out once and grounded out to second. The 0-1 swung on a miss, nothing in 2. Brian Skillman, the numbers on him, 1-0 record. Making his 8th appearance, 5th in relief, swing and a miss, strike 3, 3 pitches, and that's 1 out. So the Labette's top hitter retired to start the 7th. More numbers on Skillman, 2.25 ERA. He's part of 1 combined shutout, 20 innings pitched, 13 hits allowed, 6 runs. He has struck out 24 and walked 7, and opposing batters hitting just 178 off the lefty.
That is a very impressive resume for this 2019 season.
Ball 1 to the third baseman, Justin Perez, 1 out here in the 7th. Dragons leading 7-4. Another fastball from Skillman. Brian really had his stock go up 1 week ago up at Cloud County. He made a spot start against the T-Birds, his first conference start, and threw 6 tough innings and a no decision. Changeup swung on a miss, and it's 2-1. Dragons wound up winning that game 7-4 in or 6-3 in 9 innings up at Cloud County. They scored 4 in the 9th to win it. Swing and a miss, and it's 2-2. But Skillman pitched the first 6 innings, allowed just 2 runs, 3 hits, struck out 6, and a clutch spot start.
Really like his body language and his pace. He's pitching with confidence.
2-2 to Perez, the wind in the pitch. Hard hit ball past the diving Nedved in the left field for a hit. Skillman hung that pitch right over the plate. Riley Metzger throws a strike into Moritz at second. It's a 1-out single. The 8th hit of the game for the Cardinals.
Good piece of hitting. If we had exit velocity, it would have been pretty high on that stroke. Coach Phil Anderson says the exit velocity was 101. He's got a pretty good eye for these things.
Coach Phil can pick that stuff up quick. Here's Craley. Josh Craley 2 for 3. Lefty-lefty matchup. Swinging a pop-up, foul territory toward the dugout. Dylan Nedved and Max McGuire give chase, but it's into the Dragon dugout for strike 1.
Really has turned into a comfortable day at Hobart-Detter.
Weird to see the flag. Not doing much.
A rare, calm Kansas day.
And for those of us who have spent many a summer and spring day at Hobart-Detter, it's still weird seeing the flagpole in left center and not in dead center.
But I like it. It's beyond the fence now instead of in play.
That pitch bounces in from Skillman. Good block by McGuire, and that keeps the runner at first.
Used to be in dead center field on the warning track.
Yes, it did. Remember Trevor Turner hammering that thing a few times as a member of the Barton Cougars. He learned how to avoid those as a member of the Hutch Monarchs, though. 1-1. Ground ball to second. Moritz will tag for 1 onto first. That's a double play, and that's the second time Mo's turned a 4-3 inning ender. Nice job by Moritz. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. 7th inning stretch time at Hobart-Detter Field in game number 2. It's the Dragons 7 and the Cardinals 4. Butler still leading Neosho County 8-0, top of the 7th, game 2 at McDonald Stadium in El Dorado. Grizzlies won the first game 4-3 last night. After 6 innings in Fort Scott, the Greyhounds lead Seward County 6-0. And now Cloud County leads Allen County 8-2. And that is in the middle of the 6th. Here it is 7-4 Hutch in game 2. And it's ball 1 now to the third baseman, Dylan Nedved. Nedved is 0 for 3. Now 1 for 7 in the series, 0 for his last 6. Strike on the inside corner, and it's 1-1. On the mound, Nedved pitched 6 innings, allowed 7 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned. He struck out 6 and walked 2, hit a batter and 1 wild pitch. Doesn't chase that breaking pitch offering from Rodriguez, and it's 2-1. Rodriguez now 3 1/3 innings pitch. He's allowed 1 hit, 1 run, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. Foul back, and 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hutch has now out-hit Labette 9-8. There were only 8 combined hits yesterday, 17 so far through 6 innings in this one. 2-2 pitch. Dylan wouldn't chase. That's good plate discipline, and now the count is full.
That was good discipline because that pitch was right up there in his line of sight where you're tempted to swing, but you probably can't reach it.
Here's the payoff. High chopper to short. Lord has it on a big hop. Low throw is not handled, and the runner is safe. That'll be the first error of the series on the Cardinals. A throwing error on the shortstop, Landon Lord.
Lord had plenty of time to make the play. He had a candy hop that he waited on appropriately and then just threw it in the dirt.
So now Zane Schmidt, the batter. An RBI single in the 3rd. He's 1 for 2. Scored a couple of runs. He led off the 5th with a walk and scored on Zion Boland's 2-out double that just missed being a home run. The pitch from Rodriguez, ground ball right side. That skitters into right for a hit. Nedved makes the turn, heads for 3rd. And the Dragons have him on the corners to start the 7th.
Almost identical to Schmidt's previous single.
So now it'll be Riley Metzger. There is action in the Labette bullpen. I see the signal that whoever Aaron Keel is considering is ready. Riley Metzger, the batter.
Actually,
Riles 1 for 3.
Actually, a pair of pitchers up in the pen for Labette. Number 15 is one of them.
Lefty-righty matchup. Here's the pitch. Way outside, nearly gets away from Drew White. And with Rodriguez on the bump, he has been busy back there. Jesse Bolt of Joshua, Texas, a right-handed freshman warming up in the pen for Labette.
Other pitcher warming up is a left-hander. I can't quite see who it is, though.
Foul back out of play by Riley, and it's 1-1. What was it? Jordan Stamp is the left-hander warming up. He's a sophomore. The 1-1. Good plate discipline by Riley, laying off on a pitch. They checked down, and Riley indeed did check his swing. Jay Sanderson with the call out there at second position.
I have to say Rodriguez has really done his job pretty well for this game.
Now up to 51 pitches. Pitch number 52 is inside 3-1. So a bad one's going to load him up with nobody out. And the Dragons have a chance to get the 3 runs back. They surrendered in the 6th. Schmidt at first. Nedved at 3rd. Here's the 3-1 to Metzger. Fouled at the plate, and it's a full count.
Pretty good hack.
Riley doesn't cheat himself. Craley was a Monarch last year. I haven't seen all the position players who are back this year. 3-2. We'll see if the runner Schmidt goes on 3-2. He does not. And the pitch is outside, ball four. The Dragons have him loaded with nobody out here in the bottom of the seventh. An error, a single through the right side, and a walk have him loaded. And Brian Skillman will be the batter. Now, this isn't such a bad thing. Brian Skillman is actually a two-way player. Skillman has 40 at-bats this year. He's 10 for 40. That's a 250 average. Does have a home run and 6 RBIs. So it's not a true pitcher at the plate. Here's the pitch. And did it hit him? Did it hit him? Yes, it did, and that's going to bring in a run.
That might have got his back leg. And I think it was one of those that just got his pant leg and didn't get too much of his actual body.
So Nedved comes down the line to score on the bases loaded hit by pitch by Skillman. He drives in his 7th run of the year. It's still bases loaded, nobody out. And Aaron Keel is going to go to the bullpen. We'll tell you about the new Labette pitcher after this break. 8-4 Blue Dragons. Zion Bolin to face new pitcher Jesse Bolt, making his first appearance of the series. Bases loaded, nobody out for the Dragons. 1 run already in, leading 8-4 here in the bottom of the 7th. Good pitch, a strike.
Even though that was a strike, that was a good take by Zion because I don't think he could have done much with that one on the outside black.
Bolt is a 6'1", 195-pound freshman from Joshua, Texas. Breaking pitch in the dirt, 1-1 to Bolin. The numbers on Bolt, on for the 14th time, 11th in relief, an 0-2 record, and an 8.42 earned run average. Bolt worked 31 innings, 44 hits, 40 runs, 32 strikeouts, 25 walks. He has given up 6 bombs, and he just might have gave up number 7. High and deep left field, and this is a grand slam for Zion Bolin. And just like that, the Dragons lead it 12-4. Hutchinson's 3rd grand slam of the year. And the Dragons have an 8-run lead. Now 5 runs 7th. Zion Bolin is having himself a day.
He definitely got all of that one, Carp.
Bolin now with 6 RBIs on the afternoon, and he's 3/4 of the way to the cycle. He wasn't that far away from 2 home runs. 10 after 7. So now Ryan Moritz The first 5 Blue Dragons have reached in the 7th, and the first 5 Blue Dragons have scored in the 7th. Ball 1 to Mo.
And when you heard Carp saying 10 after 7, he wasn't saying the time of day.
Just answering a question. Moritz laid on that fastball. And it's 1-1.
If the Blue Dragons put up 2 more runs, that will be the end of this game.
And for the bullpen, considering a Game 3 would ensue, that'd be big. Pitch upstairs, a ball, 2-1 now to Mo. Hutchinson now with 11 hits. 3rd grand slam of the year. Chris Noble and Will Reitz have grannies this year. Ooh, that pitch a little bit outside, but it's called a strike, and it's 2-2.
This is a Blue Dragon lineup that is just loaded with hitters, and then a few more really good hitters in the dugout.
2-2 pitch. In the dirt, full count to Mo. After Moritz, it is Max McGuire and then Jeremiah Cesar. Give Brian Skillman credit. He hadn't had a bat in quite some time. And he gets an RBI out of it. Good swing by Mo, foul back, and the count is full, remains full, 3-2.
The Blue Dragon way.
That's how you do it. It all started in 2005, a very fond year for Coach Dan Nacarata and myself. Here's a payoff. Upstairs, ball 4. Good at bat by Mo. Now the first 6 have reached. Nedved reached on an error, a throwing error by shortstop Landon Lord. Zane Schmidt grounded through the right side that sent Nedved to 3rd. Metzger walked to load the bases. And then Brian Skillman wore a pitch that drove in the first run. And then after the pitching change, Zion Boland actually absolutely obliterated a pitch to left for the Dragons' 3rd grand slam of the year. Here's McGuire, strike 1 called outside corner. Max 1 for 3, an RBI single in the 2nd. Jesse Bold has now given up 7 home runs this year. The 0-1. Good swing by Max. He was trying to end it. Didn't miss it by much. When you foul him straight back like that, Knack, you're right on top of it.
He saw that pitch.
That's McGuire, Cesar, and then the top of the order here in the 7th. Dragons would love to close it out. Bolt's 0-2. Max chases upstairs and strikes out for out number 1.
If I remember right, Jay is heading to Junction City this summer to play.
Yes, he is. That is now 7 strikeouts for Labette pitching today after 10 yesterday. Here's Cesar 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Runner at first, 1 away. 5 already across the inning. Fouled straight back, 0-1 to Cesar. Cesar in the lineup today, replacing a struggling Will Reitz, who is 0 for his last 26.
Will Reitz next at bat, though, he's likely to hit one over the locker room. You never know. When Reitz gets back in the lineup, I'm going to predict he makes the most of it.
Well, so far your prediction's coming true pretty good. Here's the pitch. Little cute shot, cued foul. They better.
Might come back.
I was going to say, it started to have that side spin. We've had that this year. Trying to recall who it was. It might have been Nedved. He squibbed one down the 3rd base line, but it had the clockwise spin and actually went back fair before it got touched up, and Dylan got a single out of it. Can't recall the opponent, but it was one of my first games back after the national tournament. The 0-2, swing and a miss, strike 3, and that's 2 away. Cesar now 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, and Logan Sartori becomes the 9th batter of the inning. Logan so far, 1 for 4. A 3rd inning single, he scored a run.
Logan, another one of those Cornhuskers.
Indeed he is.
Blue Dragons have enjoyed many outstanding young men coming south from Nebraska.
Breaking pitch for a strike, 0-1 to Sartori. The 6 RBIs by Zion Bolin today, obviously a career high. Second most this year. Zane Schmidt had a 6 RBI game against Garden City in his 3 home run game. That pitch in the dirt, trying to move up is Moritz.
Oh.
The throw was wide, nearly decapitated the pitcher, and Moritz is in safely at second on a wild pitch. And Jesse Bolt nearly wore that pitch.
Hey, that was too close for comfort. We can chuckle about it since nobody got hurt, but it was a close call.
Wow. Dylan Nedved had a 7 RBI game a few weeks ago. That is the season high. That one pulled foul in on the hands of Sartori. That one's going to get in the river.
All-time NC2A record happened 20 years ago. Do you know how many?
I can't remember the RBI. I think it was 15. And it was
Very
6 home
close.
run game by Marshall McDougal of Florida
That
State.
is exceptional. It was actually 16.
16.
We're going to give Carp credit because he came so close on all of the details and even remembered the name.
Marshall McDougal. I got to watch him several times up at the College World Series in Omaha. 1-2 pitch.
Can you imagine?
Called strike 3 outside corner, and that'll do it.
6 home runs in a game and 16 RBI? I can't even imagine that.
5 runs, 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 left. A big inning for the Dragons in the 7th. We head to the 8th at Hobart-Detter Field in game number 2. Our new score, Dragons 12 and the Cardinals 4. "12-4, Blue Dragons as we enter the 8th in game 2. Brian Skillman back to the mound. This game is still Dylan Nedved's to win. It will be Saldana, Postier, and DeJesus, 6, 7, and 8 here in the Cardinal 8th. The Dragons need the win to force game 3. At last report, we got to check, and I have not independently verified this yet, but Pratt is up 6-0 on Craley. Middle stages of the game and game number 2 down at City Ballpark in Arc City. That pitch in the dirt for a ball, and it's 1-1 to Tate Saldana.
Pratt is always a tough team to face in the postseason.
Saldana 0 for 3. He's reaching a couple of errors. 1-1 pitch from Skillman.
Ryan Schmidt coached
Ball 2.
at Pratt Community College before coming to Hutchinson.
Indeed he did. Did a nice job. Rough first year, but the Beavers started to make a rise under Schmidt. Pitched upstairs 3-1. That's the last thing you want to do. After a 5-run 7th is walk the leadoff batter in the 8th. Just need to pound the strike zone. Here's the 3-1. Popped up, and it'll get back over the press box. Full count now to Saldana. 2010, I always go back to that year, for obvious reasons. It was the World Series year, and the Dragons finished third. But Pratt was with the Blue Dragons in the Johnson County Sub-Regional. The pitch, slowing in ball 4, a leadoff walk.
You got to give Bryce Harper a little bit of advice that year, too, didn't you?
Yes, we did. I did see Bryce take his very last at bat as a junior college player, a called third strike, and then an immediate ejection.
And then I got to break the NJCAA's heart and told him that's his second ejection of the year, and all the media that was there to follow him instantly left. Strike one inside corner to Rustin Postier. Postier 1 for 2. He was hit by a pitch in the sixth and scored. He had the big hit of game number 1 yesterday, a 2-out, 2-run double in the 8th inning. Off speed in there for a strike, and it's 0-2. Of course, that came with 2 out. All 4 of Labette's runs today have come with 2 out. In fact, all 8 runs in the series have been 2-out runs. The 0-2. High fly, center field pretty well hit. Going back as Cesar reaches up, and did he catch it? Yes or no?
Did. He made.
He must have, because the runner at first retreats to second. I thought there was a bobble out there, but Cesar makes a catch up against the wall for out number 1. No argument from the Labette coaching staff.
Well struck ball. Cesar had to retreat all the way to the fence, and then he had to jump to make the catch.
Now Abner DeJesus takes a breaking pitch for a strike from Brian Skillman. DeJesus struck out in the second, singled in the fourth, reached on a fielder's choice, and scored in the sixth. That was that well-hit ball that Logan Sartori made a diving stop in the hole and nearly got the out at third. Fouled straight back. I expect Denny Steckline will be making an age joke on Twitter about me not flinching if that one came straight at me.
He's going to make one about you not seeing it. Everybody else saw he caught it and threw it back in, and you're still looking to see if he...
Thank you very little, Denny. Here's the 0-2. Pitch bounces in for a ball 1-2. Denny is my conscience to my left.
Handles the PA duty here for the Blue Dragon baseball and occasionally slides over to do play-by-play on Blue Dragon Sports when Carp has another obligation.
1-2 from Skillman. Foul
But
off.
Carp, you haven't missed too many of these baseball games.
Well, this was the latest this year I've ever gotten to a game. It was late the last weekend in March that I finally got to see a Blue Dragon game. Weather had a lot to do with that, but then the deep runs by the basketball teams had something else to do with that too. 1-2 pitch. Reaches out and touches one to center. Coming on is Cesar, and he got it again. A sliding catch on his knees to pick it off the turf, and Jeremiah Cesar putting on a defensive show here in the 8th.
It's like a tennis player who has to retreat to get the lob and then come into the net. He had to go all the way to the fence for the previous batter to get the out, and then he had to really charge hard, and anyone with lesser speed would have never made that play.
Ball 1 to Dante Federico. He has walked twice, scored 2 runs, and struck out once. Basically, he's been a pain in the side of the Blue Dragons out of the 9 slot today. The 1-0. In there for a strike from Skillman, and it's 1-1. 12 runs, 11 hits, 3 errors, 4 left on for Hutch. 4 runs, 8 hits, 1 error, 7 left on for Labette. 1-1 pitch. Breaking pitch of beauty from Skillman. A strike, and it's 1-2. One-two pitch. Called strike 3, and the inning is over. Brian Skillman pastes the inside corner, and he works around the leadoff walk. No runs, no hits, 1 left. The Cardinals have stranded 8 through 8. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Hutchinson 12, Labette 4.
Welcome back to Hobart-Detter Field, game number 2 of this Region 6 opening round series. A 5-run 7th inning has broken it open. Hutchinson leads Labette 12-4. Dragons 3 outs away, or 2 runs away, from forcing a game 3. And Labette sends its 4th pitcher of the afternoon to the mound. And it will be sophomore left-hander Jordan Stamp out of Brantford, Ontario, Canada. He gets Nedved, Schmidt, and Metzger here in the 8th. Dylan Nedved started that 5-run 7th by reaching on an error. Throwing error by the shortstop, Lord. He takes low ball 1. Nedved so far today 0 for 4 with a run scored. Here's the 1-0 from the lefty. One catches the outside corner, and it's 1-1. The number's on Stamp. On for the 16th time, 11th in relief. He's made 5 starts, 4-1 record with an 8.74 earned run average. The 1-1 to Nedved. Outside, 2-1. Stamp has worked 35 innings, allowed 34 hits, 43 runs. He has struck out 40, but walked 34, and has allowed 3 home runs. 2-1 to Nedved. Little jam shot, one hopper past the first baseman posterior and down the line. Dylan's going to try for 2. Saldano gets to it, and he's in safely. That'll be an error on the first baseman, Rustin Postier. Second error of the game for the Cardinals. And just like the 7th, Nedved starts it off with an error.
That ball had some serious English on it. Made it a more difficult play for the first baseman.
Now Zane Schmidt, 2-hit game working. 2 for 3, 3 runs scored. Zane grounded out to short his first time, singled through the right side and drove in a run to third. Led off to 5th with a walk and scored a run. And singled through the right side and scored in the 7th. Lefty-lefty matchup, the pitch. Over the outer half for strike 1.
Kearney, Nebraska decided to discontinue baseball, and that has been a very positive development from Hutchinson's point of view because Schmidt was planning to go there.
High fly, foul territory left side. Nobody's going to get to it. And it drops in. You mean UNK dropped baseball?
They did.
I did not know
Zane
that.
Schmidt actually from
Kearney. He went to Kearney Catholic and played in one of the best Legion programs, Class A Legion programs in the state. For many years, that program was run by one of my good friends, Steve Spomberg, who's now the head coach at Hastings College.
Hate to see any college discontinue baseball, but if we can get a couple of guys to come to Hutchinson as a result of it, we'll take it.
The 0-2. Misses a little bit low, 1-2 to Schmidt.
Schmidt, one of the best students I had this year. Very bright young man.
Schmidt hitting .326 off left-handers, .402 against right-handed pitching. The 1-2.
And there's
a high fly ball, deep center field. Federico at the fence and makes the catch just in front of the fence. The runner will tag and go to third. Zane just missed it.
Any other day.
And the wind was blowing out. What wind there was blowing out.
Any other day that it wasn't raining this season, that ball would have gone out.
Here's Riley Metzger. He walked and scored his last time up, 1 for 3. He scored a pair of runs. Singled in the 3rd. Riley with 1 home run in the series. Breaking pitch outside and low for ball 1. Yeah. The 1-0 pitch. Downstairs 2-0. We're talking about Schmidt's breakdown righty and lefty. Metzger hits .373 against righties, .286 off lefties. He has 8 hits off left-handed pitching this year.
Breaking pitch high and tight, 3-0. Brian Skillman, the pitcher, is on deck. Skillman, 40 at-bats this year. It's a 4-pitch walk to Metzger, and the Dragons have him on the corners with 1 out. So Skillman hitting in the spot vacated by Zack Baxley when Ryan Schmidt made the double switch to keep Nedved in the lineup. Again, Skillman 10 for 40 on the year. Does have a home run. But he's not had an at-bat in quite some time. Lefty-lefty matchup to pitch. Upstairs for a ball. Skillman, this is only his 8th at-bat against left-handers. He's 2 for 7. Metzger away from first to pitch. It's downstairs, 2-0. Even though we're in the 8th, if the Dragons can save an inning on the mound, as this appears going to be a long day, you take that opportunity. The pitch. 3-0 to Skillman. Zion Bolin on deck, 6 RBIs. If he gets up, he has a chance at a school record. The pitch. 4-pitch walk. And the bases are loaded with 1 out. Now Zion Bolin. The record for RBIs in a single game is 7. It's been done by 7 people. We've had 2 grand slams in 1 inning by different people, but I don't ever remember 2 by 1 person. No, it can't, because the record RBI total is only 7 for 1 game. Aaron Kill goes. I was asked if somebody's hit 2 grand slams in 1 game. That can't be. We're gonna have a pitching change.
This could be a Jim Gentile or Fernando Tatis moment for Zion Bolin.
That's right. New Labette pitcher coming, and we'll tell you about him after this break. Nathan Chase on to try to keep Labette in this one. Comes in with the bases loaded and 1 out. Chase, a 5'11", 175-pound sophomore from Claremore, Oklahoma. Chase on for the 10th time, 8th in relief. He has no record and an 11.90 earned run average. Chase has worked just 12 in the 3rd innings. He's allowed 20 hits, 20 runs. He has struck out 11 and walked 14. Now, before the break, Dan Nakrod, I was saying that the single game record for RBIs is 7. Dylan Nedved is one of 7 people who hold that record. And Zion Bolin steps in with 6 RBIs in the game, including a grand slam. 2 runs will end it. He's 3/4 away to the cycle, but in this situation, he cannot hit a triple. Foul popped up and foul out of play to the right. Zion has now hit safely in 10 of his last 11 after going 0 for 3 yesterday, snapping a 10-game streak.
Well, he started a new streak in pretty good fashion.
Indeed, he did. Coming back from injury, he had a 3 RBI game with a 3-hit game against Barton on March 17th. Slow changeup misses low for a ball. It's Bolin and then Moritz. Bases full of Dragons, 1 out here in the 8th, 12-4 Hutch. Chase gives a look and delivers. Ground ball to third. They'll come home for the 4th, and that'll be the only play. So unfortunately, Zion rolls over the top of one. It's a 5-2 fielder's choice, and now it's up to Ryan Moritz, who's driven into himself today. Metzger moves to third, Skillman to second. Nedved out at the plate, 5-2. Moritz has been on base 3 times today. Singled, drove in a run and scored in the 2nd. Drove in a run with the single in the 3rd. Flew out in the 5th. Walked in the 7th. He loves to go to left center, and that big gap is sitting right out there waiting for him. Cardinals play him straight away, the pitch. Low one outside, ball 1. Mo against left-handers this year. And this is coming into the game. Hitting .393. He actually hits better off lefties than righties. The pitch. In the dirt. Good stop by Drew White. And it's 2-0. Ryan Moritz hitting .393 against left-handed pitching, .291 against right-handed pitching, and that goes against a longtime baseball book.
That's backwards from what you would expect.
And a lot of the times, Mo will take the outside stuff the other way. Gets a pitch inside.
That's a good pitch.
It was. It's a strike at the knees on the inside corner, and it's 2-1.
Claremore, Oklahoma, did you say?
I did.
I believe that's where Sam Walton opened his first Ben Franklin 5 and dime before he moved to Arkansas and founded Walmart.
2-1 pitch. Foul off the foot of Moritz. He's going to take a moment to recover. That is never a good feel.
I'm just here for useless tidbits of trivia, Carp.
Between the two of us, we can come up with some good stuff. Knack and I our sons played baseball together, so Knack and I go way back. Here's the 2-2 from Chase to Mo.
Whoa,
Pitch high and tight.
Pitch,
Mo knew he should have let it hit him.
that pitch had some movement on it.
Mo just kind of reacted like, darn it, I should have let it hit me. But now it's a full count. Bases loaded, 2 away. The Reynolds will move on the pitch.
Little known fact, Steve Carpenter's a pretty good baseball coach.
Runners go. The payoff pitch. Inside ball 4, and that'll drive in a run. Stepping on the plate is Riley Metzger, and it's 13-4. So it's a 3 RBI game for Mo. Now Max McGuire will be the batter. Unearned run to make it 13-4. Dragons have scored 6 unanswered. Max is 1 for 4, an RBI single in the 2nd. Dragons would like to end it here and save an inning on the mound for game 3. The pitch, way outside, ball 1. Miguel Reyes will be the starter in the decisive 3rd game for Hutchinson. Chase working out of the stretch with the bases loaded, the 1-0. Ball 2 low.
So if he hits a double here, Carp, does he get 1 RBI, 2, or 3?
1.
This doesn't seem fair.
It doesn't, but that's the way that we're told to stat it. So The pitch. High pop, and it'll be out of play to the right.
But if
I
he,
would,
but
I
if
would,
he
I
hits,
would have to check. I'm going to check on that.
But if he hits a home run, he gets
all
He
of
gets
them.
all 4. It just doesn't seem like that's a consistent ruling.
But the home, like the single, you can, the argument I was about to make is the home run, you get them all in one shot, but so do you also do on a single. But look at it as a walk-off.
Especially with 2 out.
Look at it as a walk-off. If you have the bases loaded in the double, you only get 1 run. There's a little looper to second.
And it's all moot.
It's caught by Abner DeJesus, and we're going to play 9. All the discussion is a moot point, but the Dragons come up with 1 more run, and we head to the 9th, and they lead Labette 13-4. We're off to the 9th inning. Dragons with a 9-run lead in Game 2 of this must-win game. 13-4, 3 outs away from forcing a decisive game number 3. We won't do our usual break. We'll just close out and get set up for the last game. We'll have a quick turnaround. Landon Lord will lead off the 9th, then we'll have a pinch hitter. And then Drew White, Brian Skillman, who came into the game into the 7th, starting his 3rd inning. If he completes this game without a run, he will pick up a save, a 3-inning save. He cannot allow a run. He does have a big cushion, though. Swing and a miss by Lord.
Yeah, that save would be another one of those that you kind of do a double take when you look at the final score, and a save was awarded. But you are correct.
1-1 pitch. Off speed, drops right in there. Good pitch. 1-2. Skillman at only 32 pitches. Pratt leading Cali 11-2, top of the 9th. They're about to go to Game 3 at City Ballpark in Arc City. Here's the 2-2. Call. Ooh.
Ah.
Ooh. Full count.
Yeah. I've often thought it'd be easier to call balls and strikes from up here in the press box.
We've done it many times. Here's the payoff pitch.
And how
Lined
many
in
times,
the left field for a hit.
How many times do you see what appeared to be strike 3 followed up with a base hit?
Many times. 9th hit of the game for the Cardinals. Now we get a pinch hitter. It will be Noah Edwards out of Veneta, Oklahoma. He's a freshman. Pinch hitting for Walker. Edwards making his first appearance of the series. Edwards hitting .241, 14 hits on the year, 7 doubles, a home or a triple, and 11 RBIs.
It's the 9th inning. It's the 9th now at Cali, the Cali game.
Still 7-2.
No, 11 something.
11-2.
Keisha's there, ain't she? Yeah, she might be there.
Here's a 1-0. High fly ball to the left. Metzger to his right. Camps under it, and there's one away. That sounded a lot better, Knack, than where it ended up.
Sometimes the
Yes.
crack of the bat, you think, oh my gosh. And then it's just a routine can of corn.
And that's what it was. One out for the catcher, Drew White. White, 1 for 4, an RBI single in the third. He has struck out twice and grounded out once. Dragons have rolled a couple of double plays today. Both 4-3 varieties. Brian Moritz with the tag and then the throw to first. The 0-1. Skillman took something off that and swung through and missed.
Sun is actually peeking out right now.
I like it. A weather oddity is about to happen here. I'll tell you about that after this pitch. Here's the 0-2. Strike him out on a high fastball, 2 away. That is 3 strikeouts now for Skillman, and the Cardinals are down to their final out. A cold front is supposed to roll through the state today, but it's going to be warmer tomorrow because that cold front is pushing all the clouds out. We'll have all sun tomorrow for Mother's Day.
Ah,
How about that? Third baseman Justin Perez, the batter. Singled his last time up. He's 1 for 4. And he fouls one at the plate. Or did he foul it?
I think he missed it.
I think he missed it. And so it'll be a pass ball charge to Max McGuire, his 11th of the year, as the runner Lord moves up to second.
The sound we heard was actually the ball skipping off of McGuire's catcher's mitt.
There's now 21 pass balls by the Blue Dragons this year by the catching staff. The 0-1. Strike at the knees, nothing in 2.
Been one of the best hitting catching staffs that I can remember.
Indeed it has. Cole Donaldson was pretty solid on his own.
That's true.
He caught almost every inning for the Blue Dragons in 2016. The 0-2 pitch runner goes. There's a swing and a high pop. It's Moritz and Schmidt. Moritz taking charge, makes the catch, and the Dragons force a game number 3 with an 11-4 victory in game number 2. Let's get a quick wrap up here before this one. Then we'll get ready for the second game. For the Blue Dragons, 13 runs, 11 hits, 3 errors, 7 left on base. For the Labette Cardinals, 4 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors, 9 left on. The winning pitcher, Dylan Nedved, he improves to 4-2. Evan Jacoby takes the loss. Jacoby falls to 2-4. And with a scoreless 3-run stint on the out of the bullpen on the mound, it's a save for Brian Skillman. Skillman getting his first save of the year and the 9th save of the year for the Dragons. Dragons broke it open with a 5-run 7th inning. Zion Boland with a grand slam. He drives in 6 and leads the Blue Dragons to a 13-4 victory, forcing a game number 3. Coming up here in about a half hour. We'll have the broadcast for you. You'll have to switch links. You'll have to go to the Blue Dragon Sports Network page on the broadcast and media page. Click game number 3. It's also on the Twitter page. We'll try to rerun that again. One of the many things we have to do between games.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel.
I
highly recommend
There
it.
you go. There you go. Just get right on the YouTube channel. Knack, you can hang around for second game?
Well, if you'll have me, I don't know if I'll be here for the first pitch. I have to go run an errand, but if you'll have
All right.
me, I'll be glad to return.
Most definitely, most definitely. My thanks to Dan Nacaretta. Thank you all for joining us. Steve Carpenter from Hobart-Detter Field reminding you the final score, Hutchinson 13, Labette 4 in game number 2. We'll be back in about 25 minutes with the decisive third game and find out who goes to Wichita. Until then, from Hobart-Detter Field, Steve Carpenter. So long, everybody.